But let's see how we're going to do this.
Did somebody text him?
Well, I can handle
I'm
it.
texting
Don't
him
worry about it.
now.
I can handle it. You don't think I can handle it? I might do this once every other year. Hey, everyone,
Do you
welcome
think? I'm
to.
just saying, did anybody text him?
Hey, everyone,
Yeah, I'm texting him now.
welcome to knowledge. I'm sorry. Welcome to the round table talk on the platform of Knowledge of Power Podcast Live. We're on tonight on a Tuesday. The round table talk deal is going on, and one of the good thing about it is that we've got all the hosts here except the big hosts. So right here we have Dr. Catherine Campbell, and Mr. Perry Busby, and Dustin Harris. And of course, I'm just sitting in. This is Tony Renfro, and I'm just going to hang in here and do the best I can till y'all big hosts get here, Chris Jones. Tonight's episode would be topic is going to be the blueprint or the burn pow. This episode theme summary is this is not about holding leaders accountable. This is about naming the criminals, running the house, and deciding if that house is worth saving. The United States is operating with a convicted felon at the helm, suspected predator in policy chairs. Let me repeat that again. Suspected predators in policy chairs, and state governments like Texas openly practicing political apartheid. These are isolated scandals that they are uh, their coordinated moves in a long game to erase whole communities from political existence. Someone has some noise in the background, please. There we go. Thank you. Okay, let me finish it here. And so right now we're going to be breaking things down. How they anticipate and neutralize us before we act. A real difference between burn it down and build within strategies. The war between those still voting and those walking away, and why both need to know the other playbook. Now, segment one is national, and the enemy, and the subtitle is the enemy playbook. They are not guessing; they are planning for a planning for you. And y'all, excuse me, I'm reading it for the first time. So we're going to be digging into reality. The convicted felon and accused predators leading the so-called free world while surrounding himself with other accused of the same. The federal agency and courts are preemptively designing laws, rulings, and district lines to counter expected Black and working class resistance. The rise of the legal apartheid, discriminatory systems dressed in constitutional language, and how federal data collection and voter roll purges aren't random, they are predictive. Now, Dr. Catherine I'm sorry. I am so sorry, Catherine.
Campbell, just like the soup.
I know, I know. I
Good.
got a tired tongue at that time. I'm sorry. Dr. Catherine Campbell one is going to have some power shots with one current federal policy or ruling designed to look natural but targeting specific communities.
Chris showed up.
Oh yeah, Perry Busby will be showcasing how voter roll purges are planned using data from the last election cycle. Dustin will be directing us towards a national example where resistance was anticipated and shut down before it started. Let's see now. That's no guest co-host. So let's share our situation in the area where they are moved before the people could act. So let
You
me
the
get
guest
back.
co-host, right? You the guest
I,
co-host.
I'm just hanging in here.
That's
I'm
what you
just
get for
trying.
coming in. You the guest, man. Come on.
Okay, okay. Well, so we get the table started then. Then if that's on the other side is ready, already planning their next three moves, how do you change the game?
Hold
That
on,
is
Tony. Hold on, Tony. Hold on,
okay.
hold on, hold on. Okay, we're
Mhm.
gonna go back to this power shot, right?
Okay.
Okay, so one current federal policy or ruling designed to look neutral but targeting specific drugs, right?
All right.
That policy
I'm
is
sorry. Will you?
especially,
I'm
excuse
sorry.
me?
I'm sorry. Will you repeat that, please?
Okay. One such example is the war on drugs policy.
Mm-hmm.
It's especially the Anti-Drug Abuse Act of 1986. On paper, the law seemed neutral. It established strict federal penalties for drug offenses regardless of race, but it created a 100-to-1 sentencing disparity between crack cocaine and powder cocaine. Crack was more common in low income, predominantly black neighborhoods, while powder cocaine was more common among wealthier, often white users. As a result, black communities were disproportionately prosecuted and incarcerated, even though the drug use rate across racial groups were similar. Some others are the voter ID laws, which disproportionately affected Black, Latino, Native American, and low income voters who are less likely to have qualifying IDs. And also public housing, one strike rule established in 1996 that allowed eviction for an entire household if any member engages in allegedly criminal activity affecting communities of color due to over policing disproportionately. Also, let's see. Oh, yeah, they have federal sentencing guidelines for certain offenses. These involve neutral drug and firearm sentencing rules that have higher incarceration rates for Black and Latino defendants. And another one is school funding through local property tax. It's federally influenced Title One program. It's a federally influenced program called the Title One program, right? Title One aims at the to help low income schools, but most school funding comes from local taxes. Majority minority districts often remain underfunded despite equal federal formulas. And also immigration enforcement priorities. These focus on criminal aliens and border securities, but enforcement disproportionately targets Latin Americans, Africans, and certain Asian groups. hmm So that's my power shot.
Now,
I think Chris is backstage.
I don't see Chris backstage. Let's see if he's backstage. Yeah, he is. Okay, so Chris, welcome aboard. We've got, of course, you're a little tardy to the party, but I have kind of introduced him to the beginning of your podcast, so you could pick it up.
Hey,
Uh,
brother, you doing a
Catherine,
good job, man. You doing a good
Catherine,
job as a
Catherine,
guest co-host.
Catherine has gone over her power shot on the current federal policies and ruling designed to look natural, uh, uh, but targeting specific communities. So
Mhm.
you can pick up from there, and I'll see you guys in the next 45 minutes.
Awesome, awesome. And do please, everyone, forgive my tardiness. I was just leaving from our neighborhood association meeting, which was a very good meeting on this evening. But Dr. Campbell, I appreciate your dialogue and response to your power shot. Um, Dustin, if I'm not mistaken, you got the next power shot, huh?
Nah, it was
Oh
Mr.
no, it's
Bill.
Perry. It's Perry. I got you, Perry. I got you, Perry. Go ahead, brother, big brother Perry. You have the next
Yeah.
power shot.
So the next power shot is regarding how they plan to use the voter rolls to diminish our impact. And first of all, uh, purging the voter rolls is a continued action that has gone on unchecked. I know at least since I would say at least since 20. I would say maybe 2016. That is really just gone unchecked. But I go as far back as early 2000s. But again, uh, some of what we could have said, and Dustin saying, "Yeah, we can go down further." Uh,
Yes.
yeah, just through uh, different acts. Like I said, it hasn't. This isn't new, but just a blatant purging without
Hmm.
justification, without notification, without any of the other guardrails that we've been used to, is what we're faced with. And there was a recent story uh, that the attorney general claims that if they had not suppressed not absentee ballots, but the absentee ballot application during COVID,
Application,
in
right.
many states, just because of the COVID mandate, many states were sending out ballots regardless of application. But in many states like Texas, uh, uh, there was an effort to send out the application to maintain the protocol. But
Mm-hmm.
as the attorney general says, there were efforts to suppress that effort. And if we look at now the current fights that are happening in the legislation in Harris County to a major extent, to a lesser degree Dallas, and to a medium extent Austin and San Antonio. This is
Mm-hmm.
all where this has started from. And so to undermine these Democratic led counties uh, who now have a different challenge. And I dare
Mm-hmm.
say it's a challenge that we as a community uh, really grab hold to. We can talk about voter registration and all of the efforts that do take place.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and we know for a fact that the Black community has been the backbone of any progressive movement or attempted progressive move within our political system. It has been on the shoulders and on the turnout of blacks, and
Correct.
specifically black women,
Correct.
who have helped us to at least sustain this part of the struggle. But now we're in a different struggle, and so Chris, to your point, yes, the struggle starts not at the ballot box, but even being a participant in the process itself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Dustin, your time for the shot.
So it was a national example of resistance that was anticipated and shut down before it started.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, I give you a great one. I could use the elephant in the room, black people, but I'm gonna go a little beyond that. Let's just take this big ice raid that's going on around the country.
Mm.
So what did they do for a few years, few months, a few everything? They let
Mm-hmm.
it be known out there. Oh, these are criminals. These are drug dealers. These are this. These are that. We just need to get rid of them. So now all the people that was handling their business, healed the right way, signed all the paperwork, did all the tests, did all the everything. Guess what? Now that you done let your guard down, now they swooping you up and changing the laws on you while you sitting there watching. Because
Right.
you thought, oh, they
Mhm.
just going for these people. But look where they going to get people from. If these are
Hmm.
criminals, why they at work? Why they at
At the
school?
Home Depot.
Not even Home Depot. Actual warehouse jobs where they paying taxes.
Yeah.
But this where you coming to swoop them from. You ain't going to get the dude that's in prison. You going to get people there for the immigration hearing that's doing it the right way. You going to get people from school. You going to get people from church. You going to
Yeah.
get people from their job. The man, first off, the cold part is y'all let the man work a whole 16 hours and then go come pick him up. You better come pick me up within that first hour, goddamn it. But that's the game they playing. They let you
Mhm.
think, okay, cool, yeah. It's basically, and don't think it's just Hispanic folks, the Haitians, the Jamaicans, all y'all from the islands, they coming, they getting everybody. Anybody that don't look the shade of that 40%, they coming to get.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Flashpoint. This is the opportunity where we ask you, as our listeners and watchers, um, as they're reacting to us or planning ahead of us, are they reacting to us or planning ahead of us? Drop a yes or no in the chat and tell me why. Drop that down right now. If you're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, whenever you see this, that's the question, the flashpoint for this particular segment. Are they reacting to us or planning ahead of us? Know your rights. Regulations.gov is a public site that tracks um, every proposed federal rule, if not um, those that have been voted on. If you're not watching, you're walking behind. I definitely want you to know. You are definitely walking behind if you're not paying attention. Roundtable question for this particular topic is: if the outside has already scripted your next 3 month moves, what's your play to break the script? How do you distort their plan? Dr. Campbell, you have the floor.
Well, you introduce uncertainty and break the patterns. So what they expect no longer applies. You disrupt the script. So if they're expecting legal or political action, shift to public opinion or coalition building instead. You
Mm-hmm.
create multiple threats or opportunities at once. Force them to split their focus. They aren't prepared for simultaneous fronts. You can change the win condition, alter what success looks like, even if their plan is executed perfectly, it doesn't block your goal. And
Right,
you
right.
get unexpected partners or resources that they don't control or use unconventional channels. You also can let them know there are other options outside of their forecast. This shakes their confidence and signals unpredictability. The short answer
Mm-hmm.
is make their rehearsed moves irrelevant. Pow,
ah,
pow.
kapow, packed with kapow. Perry Busby, you have the floor. You want
I'm
me?
a, I,
Okay, there you
yeah.
go.
I'm going to reach back to Sun Tzu
So what?
and the Art of War. Sun Tzu,
Okay.
Ah,
Suntzu. Sun Tzu, who wrote the Art of War, and one of Sun Tzu's uh, one of the quotes that I like. Uh, he says, "If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. If you know yourself but not the enemy, for every victory gained, you will also suffer a defeat.
mm-hmm.
If you know neither the enemy nor yourself, you will succumb in every battle."
Mm.
Uh,
Wow.
so how do we fight this? We first got to know who in the fight and who we fight, and most importantly, what we fighting for.
For the
Right,
problem.
right,
Hmm.
right. What we
Hmm.
fighting
Hmm.
for? What we
Because
fighting
it,
for?
it's some folk. It's just some folk who just like to provoke a fight, but they don't want to be in a fight.
Hmm. Hello,
And
somebody.
and so we're at a inflection point in which our oppressors have not just we we know they've made a plan, but they've also published it. Project 25 is a plan.
That's a whole plan, fam, and it's being implemented, and yeah, it's
Yeah. So
being.
so how do you as one of the things is how do we counter this? One of the things I think is we can't counter this. One way to counter it is not is by not doing what we've always done before.
This is
I mean, I'm just at a point. It's some white folk think all you can do is say nigga, and it will get black folk in a tip. And to some degree, they right.
Right.
So part of that is okay. Well, I mean, how many times being called nigga gonna hurt you, and how many times are we gonna act like Pavlov's dog when we hear the word nigga?
Who dog?
So I think part of that is yes, we do. I mean, and that is not to and don't get me wrong. I'm not condoning the acceptance of being called nigga, but I was at Forest Park High School in 1980, and if I got called nigga, that was a good day because I got called in some not directly but to me and they had a sort of way of saying, well, have you ever heard or have you ever been called Jungle Bunny? Have you ever been called Porch Monkey? Have you ever been called Spear Chunker? I mean, you'd hear all these taunts
Spear
in the
chunker.
hall in the halls of what is Westbrook High School. Yes.
You better
Oh
know who
my!
you are, huh?
Come on, spear chunker. I have never.
Mm. And who
And
you belong
so,
to.
you know, so yes, we definitely have to counter this offensive with some new maneuvers. And if we don't have any, I mean, we better start looking for those who do. I mean, because it's gotten to the point that I mean, this Target. I was reading the thing about Target, and for a while, the Target protest has worked to some degree. I don't know if it's been all black folk or it's just been the economy, but I do know the emphasis on target has kind of waned, even though Pastor Jamal Bryant is still out there promoting and going on. So I mean, part of this, even about talking about struggle, is do we have uh the perseverance
Hmm.
for it? I mean,
Totally agree.
these are all questions that I think we really have to answer amongst ourselves.
Yeah. Dustin, you got the floor.
Well, first off, you have to realize what game you're playing. They're not three moves ahead. They just got a 300-year head start and all their pieces already crowned. These are chess players. They just moving forward.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
So we just got to realize what game we playing now. Realize, okay, they got the advantage. They're all their pieces on the board of crown. We just got to not get them a path to take us out. So let's play chess and keep it moving.
I totally agree. I totally agree. Especially with what a lot of you are saying as far as like what it would take for a fight back, right? So to speak. Um, Me personally, I feel burn the damn script, set it on fire. Stop playing the role they wrote for you. That means not showing up where they expect you, not organizing the way they trained themselves to infiltrate, not repeating the chants they've already prepared to counter to, move off their calendar completely, like completely. Instead of celebrating January as the New Year, celebrate it in March. I mean, completely flip the program, right? Um, Stop fighting for entry into their rooms and start building spaces where their rules do not apply. Because power you control on your own ground cannot be voted away. It cannot be redlined. It cannot be gerrymandered. That's your power. And the only way that we succumb to their game is when we do this instead of this. And so I just want us to know that, like it's been said, this is a the script has already been written. Dustin said it perfect. It's not, you know, it's not the next three moves. It's the past 500-600 years that they have ahead of us already. Right? I mean, we already know it was 400 for slaves and then almost 300 afterwards. Come on. I mean, like we're in 2025 and we still got lynchings in 2024. Segment 2.
We got a
We're
lynching
gonna
this year.
hey, and that's probably the one that they trying to sweep under the rug. Segment 2, we're going to definitely come to the states and not just Texas, because as I was doing research for my co hosts on these questions and what we were going to talk about, I noticed that Texas is a booger bear. So,
Mm.
the title for this particular segment is Fear as a Full-Time Job. Fear as a Full-Time Job. How Texas SEALs sells fear to cover up corruption and control. In Texas, fear isn't a byproduct, it's the business model. Abbott, Patrick, and Paxton keeps us in a permanent state of alarm. Border panic. You remember? Oh, they're coming over. Let's put the barbed wire in the river. All that, yeah. Crime panic. You remember they're rapists, like Dustin said. They're child molesters, and here it is. We have perceived child molester in the White House as the president of the United States. I mean, they told us all kinds of things. These are gang members. They are trans panic. They even threw out that your child was going to school this morning and they're gonna come back after lunch as a whole Tinkerbell. Make it make sense. And every time you're watching their performance, they're sliding another law across the table that strips rights and locks in their power. The same exact thing that Donald Trump is trying to do currently with the issues of, hey, Texas, I need you to push it again so that I could win, or I could guarantee a win in your state. And here's the thing about fear. It lowers our vibration. It makes us more willing to trade our freedoms for a false sense of safety. They use that drop in energy to pass bills that would have gotten full resistance if we were alert, right? This ain't just politics, y'all. It's frequency warfare. And they're winning it because they've trained a portion of our own people to act as shields for this particular garbage. And that's using it loosely. Calling it unity when really it's complicity. Our power shots. Dustin got a shot pulled up, I could tell. Dustin, name one Texas law that other states are currently copying.
Oh, we got one. I think it's fresh off the table. Texas Senate Bill 4. This law which allows state law enforcement to arrest, not stop, not question, arrest any individual suspected of illegally crossing the border.
Yes,
So what does that
yes,
actually mean?
yes.
So you could just arrest anybody because everybody looked like they could have crossed the border at any good goddamn time. Because I'm trying to figure out
Trying to tell you.
what shade of person, what accent, what do you have to do to not look like someone who possibly crossed the border?
Right, right.
And you know Arizona already picked it up. I think New Mexico done picked it up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's spreading. It just continuing the unnecessary stopping people foolishness.
Yeah. Dr. Campbell, how fear campaigns pull focus. You got your shot.
Well, they fear campaigns redirect attention not necessarily towards what's most dangerous, but towards what's easier to dramatize. Is that right? Dramatize.
Dramatize.
Yeah. And the cost is that slow burn, high impact crises that keeps festering in the shadows. So
Yep,
I
like
mean
an incense.
that fear tactic is it just emotionally hijacks people, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I totally agree. Especially when, like you said, it permeates beyond their greatest expectation, right?
Right.
Absolutely. Perry, what happens when black legislators protect bad law? Take your shot.
What comes to mind when I first read that? I don't know if you've seen it recently, like in the last 3 weeks. There's been on social media uh, a trend of what happened in the oversight committee meeting. I think maybe last year or earlier this year, when Senator Tim Scott took a hard an attempted hard crushing swipe at Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett and basically accused her, and he did say at point, he accused her of being a social media star while not having any compassion or any thought about her constituents. He questioned her
Mm-hmm.
leadership and questioned her commitment to her community, something that no Congress or black senator took a swipe at this young woman. And the whole social media uh, trend has been about how she responded. Because in her first words, she basically said she called, and she did. She didn't say it by inference. She said it directly. She called him a token, and she said he was a token
Token?
for everything that
Mhm.
Republicans had ever done. And she questioned. She asked him, why are you doing this for people who you know don't like you? And I dare say, while Senator Scott had that coming, I dare say that same sentiment applies in this question when we get uh, our representatives making deals for a so-called sense of unity, only to find out their concessions really didn't yield any results
Mm.
in terms of response. Whatever they gave up for that vote, we have not seen a tangible response for, well, that was worth giving this up.
I totally agree.
And never will.
And so
Right.
we do. I mean, we do. There. And when you talk about that word token, you know, the thing is, the token has no value.
None.
The token's value is determined by the one who gave it to you. So Chuck E. Cheese determined the value of a token.
Yeah.
Dave and Buster's,
Showbiz.
the Houston Metro determined the value of a token. So when you're a token, your value is not represented by anything that you've done. It's represented by the one who's handling you.
Come on, a showbiz token. You sitting up here with a token from the casino. This ain't no quarter. This have no value. Man, man. So our flashpoint for this particular subject topic is what's the fakest crisis you've seen used to push real harm? Respond in the chat. What is the fakest crisis you've seen used to push real harm? Um, Know your rights. Sign up for bill alerts on again on your legislator's website. Don't wait for news to tell you what passed. Be informed on what is on the table or what's being proposed. Right, Dr. Campbell gave me insight on a website or an app actually that you could go to find out everything that's being proposed in your state legislation as well as your federal legislation and find out what your elected individuals have and is voting on, whether they authored a bill or just voted yes or no on it. There are ways to find out how your elected representatives are voting.
Mhm.
Um, Roundtable question for this particular topic is if fear is their weapon, what's our counter strategy? Dr. Campbell, you have the floor.
If fear is the main tool used to manipulate attention, the counter strategy has to work on both the emotional and structural levels.
Hmm.
Number one, there must be emotional immunity. Don't take the bait. Hmm.
Like they say
Uh,
nowadays.
yeah, don't take the bait. Pause before reacting and shift focus to evidence. Look for hard evidence and diversify information sourcing. Follow and so follow credible outlets. Yeah.
Yeah.
Reframe the narrative. Change the conversation by redirecting to a real crisis, or use storytelling for truth. Stick to the facts and highlight solutions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I totally agree. I totally agree.
I'm sorry, I couldn't read
Period.
my writing.
It's okay. Period. You have the floor. You
Okay,
muted.
repeat that
Okay,
part.
go ahead. Roundtable question is: if fear is the weapon, is their weapon, what is our counter strategy?
Knowledge, uh,
Mhm.
uh, maintaining some foundational values. I mean, because this whole fear campaign is really, uh, I mean, uh, in military terms, or it's psyops.
Hmm.
It's to get you off balance. And so if we give in, I mean, the fear only, I mean, this is a complex question. I mean, part of it, like I say, I think we really have to be serious about pulling people away from social media. It's a helpful tool, but it's a destructive tool in its advances. And I know for a while we thought that it was very good in terms of promotion, but it is definitely bad in terms of educating and getting the word out. I mean, people say, "Oh, it's some good stuff on TikTok." You got to sift through so much bullshit to get to it.
That part. That part.
So part of this is, and I mean, for all of us, one of the things that keeps us grounded is our anchor isn't socially motivated. It isn't politically motivated. It isn't motivated by likes or interactions. It's motivated in what has brought us. And we really have to take some internal looks. Our churches, where are we in this time? Our
Yeah.
community
Yeah.
institutions. I mean, you and Catherine both lead neighborhood associations. We have to ask ourselves, how much strength and support do we need to give these anchor institutions in this time
Right.
when our communities are being decimated, either by force, is overtaken by law enforcement, is overtaken
Yeah.
by by policies that are led by neglect. It's taking away the fundamental. So what do we hold on to?
Right.
And this isn't new for us, but it's new for us in this time. And I think that the fear that we hear is is also the acknowledgement of our own unpreparedness. So, as Dustin would say, I mean, you got to put your big boy drawers on and just accept it and take that hit and keep moving. I mean, you got to take that blow and say, yeah, I wasn't ready for it, but I'm looking, my head on the swivel, knuckle up and buckle up. I mean, that's all we
Right.
have to do
Right.
right now.
Indeed. Yes, indeed. Dustin, you have the floor.
Well, I'm gonna say with their foolishness, what you got to do is you got to get out that comfort zone and go ahead and flip that survival switch back on. Because
Mhm.
to me, that was the biggest wolf in sheep clothing ever put out there. Like black people need to come out of the survival mode and just be comfortable. Okay, cool. You
Mhm.
came out survival mode, but they show you every day, every week, every month, every year that you still on the hunting list. So you don't go out there and tell no deer, hey man, stop trying to survive.
Stop trying to be a deer.
You don't tell no hog out there, hey, stop trying to survive. Just be out there. If people shoot you, they shoot you.
Stop pigging around.
But it's just the silliest, foolish thing. I hear people get on the internet all the time. We got to come out of survival mode. Why would I do that if someone's still shooting at me?
Right. Make it make sense and I can't eat.
If I can't drive down the street without being bothered just because you can see in my tent or you can't see in my tent, either way, it's gonna get me stopped. So come on. I like being in survival mode. I don't
Yeah.
like going into a room I don't know where all the exits are. I don't put my back to too many people.
Yeah.
So y'all come on with it. Oh, well, I don't have to worry about survival. Well, I'm worried about mine. Me and mine gonna be surviving. You go on out
Yeah.
there and do whatever
Yeah.
you feel like doing.
Especially when they don't realize it's survival of the fittest.
Mhm.
Fear loses its grip when you already know the storm is coming and you got the shelter already. And being that we are, approaching the anniversary of Katrina Rita, this is definitely ideal for the moment. That means not just raising awareness, oh, the hurricane's coming. No, it means drilling the counter plan into muscle memory, right? I
Mhm.
remember training in the military, especially physical training in the military, where you went beyond muscle memory to muscle failure. Push-ups, upper arm head press, overhead hand claps, flutter kicks. I mean, you do it so much to where you can't even lift you be like this. Your muscles done failed. You understand? So if they drop a new voter ID law tomorrow, your block should already know where the free IDs come from. If they cut school funding tomorrow and school starts tomorrow, your community should already have after school programs locked in. I didn't say your city, I didn't say your school district, I said your community should have after school programs locked in. Prepared people are ungovernable by fear. I'm going to say it again.
That's right.
Prepared people are ungovernable by fear. So let that sink in and remember this. If you scared, stay on the porch. Segment 3 is our local segment. The title for this particular segment is The End Game is Local. Whether you vote or not, the fight always comes home. I heard and the old saying, the chickens always come home to roost. They'll redraw a voting district and lock it in for decades during a boring cycle, a boring council meeting. Nobody's watching, right? They'll
Mhm.
change a city charter so the next mayor can't undo their messes, and they'll do it while your neighborhood is still arguing about a pothole. But this is deeper. They are actively erasing the memory of our presence. They'll plow over black cemeteries. Say I'm lying. I heard none. They'll rename streets. Say I'm lying. I heard none. And bulldoze churches. And I'm talking about e- extremely historic churches, right? Not just for development, but to serve to sever the spiritual root, because a people disconnected from their history will settle for anything in their current and or present. Trust and believe me when I say that. Perry, you have a power shot. How local redistricting hides in budget votes? Take your shot.
Uh, I mean, when you begin to understand the power shift, and the power shift, I mean, it's not just along racial lines. It is definitely along economic lines. And so we begin to, I mean, we can look at the local bond issue as a perfect example. The local bond issue becomes a debate among among the folk who think they have and the folk who know they have not. I'm gonna say that again. This bond
I like
election
the way you put that.
is against the people who think they have and those who know they have not. And so when you
Mm,
begin
mm, mm.
to look at again, and this begins to bear itself out even into our wars. And so the belief is that Ward One and Ward Two are going to be the the patriotic champions of Beaumont in leading this effort.
Say it.
While while we still have those within our community who still have voter access and their economics have allowed them to move away from Beaumont, but they feel that I want to maintain my patriotic duty to my community, and Negroes need a new sports facility, because that's all we think about is sports in Beaumont, and that's all Negroes see. We all tend to say Negroes are good for in Beaumont is sports. And if we don't say so,
Entertainment.
we're doing it in this policy. And to
Yep.
say that means that you being wrong. See, why, I'm cutting. No, I'm not cutting. I'm just saying in terms of priority. Why are the folk who think they have dictating a direction that they know they can't afford themselves?
Because they want to play
A sports
pickleball.
facility will
Golly.
come here. It is not going to
Dr.
benefit.
Campbell.
It's not going to benefit
Okay,
the
go
people
ahead.
in Ward 3, Ward and Ward 4.
That's absolutely correct. Especially a Dowling Road extension that has nothing to do with us. That gives us no access to nothing or nowhere.
No,
That gives us no opportunity to build businesses or nothing. That the monies that's going to come from the Dowling Road that, well, let's say this, the monies that's going to go to the Dowling Road expansion does not come to us as contractors and or developers and or potential businesses that would be aligned or lined along that new street, right? Just like we said a few shows ago, we have a road extended from the rear side of Parkdale Mall that goes all the way to Major Drive. There's hardly any individuals that's traveling that street. There is no development on that street, with the exception of me and Dustin, because I be counting folks. And so, what I want us to know is that we as taxpayers pay for that extension behind Park Del Mall, but we as taxpayers are not getting a return of our investment on that same street. Our citizens, whether young, old, or unborn, will not see a return of investment for a Dowling Road extension. That money will go to the property owner or property owners, and that's it. Everything else, sidewalks, sewer, drainage, I mean, water lines, that all comes from the taxpayers. And this bond, we didn't need a bond for the extension behind Park Del Mall, so what we need that in a bond for now? Um, a working example, I'm sorry, power shots, Dr. Catherine. A working example of block level parallel power.
So if we're looking at safety,
Take your shot.
food, so if we're looking at safety, food, and dispute resolution, what we're talking about is grassroots resilience. So in our communities, we need to build safety and security with the goal of keeping the block safe through cooperation, not fear. So you could establish
Mhm,
block watch or safety circles, neighbors committing
mhm,
to looking out for each other. uh you could establish community patrol zones, I mean
mhm,
teams. These people
mhm,
walk or bike through the neighborhood, so as and they act as connectors between residents and services.
mm,
You could make uh a communication tree for rapid text or phone chains for emergencies and alerts, right?
mhm, mhm.
For food security, the goal is to ensure every household can access good food in a crisis or shortage. And this is done with micro community gardens in vacant lots or in front yards. And now neighbors can swap produce between each other.
Yes,
Um, at the block, you can have a block level food pantry, which is a rotating stock pile of staples maintained by neighbors. And you could also have meal sharing rotations, which can be especially helpful for elders, single parents, or sick neighbors. You
yes,
could also have bulk buy clubs, which is families that pull together to buy wholesale food staples such as rice, beans, flour, and share them in a safe space and store them in a safe place for distribution. And then for
mhm,
dispute resolution, the goal is to handle conflicts before they escalate to violence or law enforcement. And you can do this with
yes,
neighborhood mediation teams, community members who step up uh, to de-escalate disputes. You can have restorative circles, which is meetings where those affected can talk out and agree on actions to repair the situation. And you could
yes,
also, there could also be a shared agreement, which is a simple, and I'm gonna repeat, simple set of community rules, which include the quiet hours, pet etiquette, parking respect, and that these are created by the residents, right?
right.
So okay, yeah. When strong safety, food, and conflict resolution structures are at the local level, fear campaigns lose a lot of their leverage because the community already trusts itself.
Mhm,
Hmm? Yeah.
mhm. That's it. You took that whole shot by yourself.
Well, you told me
Dustin,
to.
a city that builds its own systems and thrive. Give one example of a city where communities built their own systems and succeeded. You have the shot.
I
Take a
give you a
shot.
few, but it's gonna lead to one that don't. Chinatown, Irish part of the city, Jewish village, the little white only towns. That's to be determined. We don't know how that's gonna work out for them. But basically, anywhere that isn't established for and by black people, because we
Hmm.
know if it's established by us, there's a date and a time they're gonna come destroy it.
Right, right.
They're gonna burn it
Mm-hmm.
down, they're gonna blow it up, they're gonna put it under a lake, or they're
That's
gonna
what they
turn it
do.
into a park.
Dustin,
There's been
bro, don't do
hundreds of
that.
examples.
He telling the truth. He ain't saying nothing wrong.
Man, he almost choked me with the truth, man. That water. He said he gonna put him under a lake, man. Come on, how many cities we got under a lake? I know for sure 4.
I think we got at least 8.
Yeah,
Mm.
and that's the ones that. Go ahead, Dustin. My bad, bro.
Cause I want to say we got at least 8 of them joints. Cause I know we got Central Park is basically it used to be a black town, got turned to a park.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Cause I know Lake Lanier is one. That's why them people keep dying. I don't
Yeah.
know why y'all keep going there. Them little
Mm.
Yeah.
black spirits ain't gonna let you swim. You coming to the bottom with them. Cause I'm just saying, if I go to a lake and I look underwater, I can see a town. I'm gone.
Mm.
Yeah, I ain't going there. I'm not
They
going
say the
there.
houses and school and everything still there. You can still see it.
Still there, you can see it.
Mm-mm. 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 Mm-mm.
Nope.
Yep. Yep.
Nope.
Flashpoint. Save the system or burn it down. And this is for our listeners and our viewers. Save the system or burn it down. Pick one and say your first move. Pick one and say your first move. So, save the system or burn it down. That's the question we're gonna know or want to know from our uh, listeners, viewers, and watchers. Know your rights. City charters, draft maps, ordinances, all public before they're passed, before they're voted on, before they're approved. They
Mm.
make it public before they approve it. So if
Mm.
it ends up approved and you don't like it, guess whose fault is that? Right. Demand them
Mm-mm.
when you don't see it before it does get to the ballot. Demand that they invite you. As I said last week, make sure that they invite you, your block, your church, your job, like your entire household. Make sure they invite y'all because you are not the public. You are you. So make them address you.
Yeah, but most of
Um,
the time they've already determined the outcome before they even tell us about the meeting.
exactly. Exactly. And that's why we're looking at a majority of seniors that were appointed to the bond commission or the bond committee. We
Who ain't
even
gonna pay no
had
tax.
we yeah, they don't pay no taxes. And
Mm.
if they do, it's abated, right?
Mm. Mm.
And then you have one individual that's on the bond in the bond space that used to be an employee of the city of Beaumont, used to be an
Mm.
employee of DD6, quit
Mm.
both of those jobs, and you have the audacity to make that make sense. Roundtable
Mm.
question for this particular segment is if we had to start from scratch tomorrow, what's the one thing we can't afford to get wrong this time? Dr. Campbell, you have the floor.
If we had to start from scratch tomorrow, the Black community can't afford to get divided this time. Unity is the foundation because without it, every other gain can be picked apart and taken.
I totally agree. Even if you sitting up here talk about, I want to train my youth how to shoot. I'm sorry, sir. You and your youth come here. You're going to go to jail, federal prison, and they will go to children's federal jail. Golly. Perry Buns, do you have the floor?
I think we just have to begin to really, uh, I guess the best way I can say it, I mean, we so many of us have been tra- trained so much how to think and what to think that that when someone even brings something, I mean, we can't afford to get caught up in the tradition. I mean, I've seen that. I've seen traditions hurt our community over the years. I mean, even I can remember in the '60s, if you had gone to jail, man, it was hard for you to show up at church.
Mm-hmm.
And our neglect to address that by the time we saw what that had done in the '80s, then you start seeing a whole bunch of churches having prison ministries because now you're going to preach to brothers that you had an opportunity but neglected. So we can't
Wow.
afford to get caught up in these traditions and not embrace. I mean, because we're having problems. I look back at the 2024 election. Heck, I look back at this last local election. What they both identified was the elders' lack of having a credible word with their
Mm,
head.
mm,
We saw it in the presidential election in 2024, and we saw it in the local election in many ways.
mm,
We saw new
mm.
voices come in. We saw new voices come in, such as yours, Chris, that our community would not even open up their ears to even invite a conversation.
Mm.
And I know you
Mm-hmm.
won't say it, but I know for a fact.
Mm-hmm.
So if we gonna kill this disease, we got to call this disease out for what it is.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah. Didn't we say that last week? You got to call that thing out for what it is.
We said it.
I'm just saying, Dustin.
I'm gonna keep it nice and sweet. But we need to make sure we don't forget this time is the exit strategy. Because if we build it, they will come.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure we know how to get out alive and safe.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I totally
Yep.
agree. Um, for me, land, law, lineage. Secure the land so you have a base. Just like Dustin said, find your exit plan. Strategic one. So secure the land so you have a base. Secure the law so you have a shield. That way you could defend things that's being tossed at you and your people because you know the law. And then protect the lineage so the next generation knows why the fight matters, right? Miss any one of those and you'll be right back here fighting for
Mm-hmm.
the same damn battle in a different place, in a different time. But the battle is still the same. Their tools of war against you or us is still the same, always the same. And for generations, those that learn the play, learn the tools, and learn survival, they killed them. And if you are not speaking to your community in honesty and in truth and letting them know that, hey, this shit could get you killed, you are doing your community a disservice.
Hmm.
If you're not telling your community this shit can get you fired, you're doing your community a disservice. If you're not telling your community this can get your house burned down, you, my friend, or doing your community, let alone your friend or your family members, a disservice. Again, fighting the same damn fight in a totally different decade. Dr. Campbell, give us something to wrap up the week.
If we're not building together, we're being built over. And the
Hmm.
blueprint is never ours. Because someone else will create a plan for us that will serve them and not our interests. In other
Hmm.
words, control the design or you'll live in someone else's design. I know, huh?
And it's gonna be counterfeit.
I know, huh? It's gonna be a token.
You can buy it with a token.
Yes.
Whew. Perry, give us something that'll close us out for the rest of the week.
uh, Instead of being confident about what you know you can solve, take some time this week to look at something that you know you can't solve and try to take some time to figure out how it can.
Hmm.
I mean, we try to
Seek
live in this
resolve.
comfort, right? We try to live in this comfort zone when we see that there are things around us that need some solution.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't have a solution, take the time. Try to come up with one.
Mm-hmm.
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 I,
Dustin.
I, I guarantee you'll
Oh, my
feel better
bad. Go
for it.
ahead, Perry.
Nah, I know. I'm just saying. I guarantee you'll feel better for
Go ahead, Dustin.
Well, it's that time again.
Is this the word of the week? Oh boy.
it. My time on the show. I look forward to this time.
The
Word of the
week.
week today. When school gets started tomorrow, gonna be a bunch of people seeing new people do new things around them. So I need to let y'all know y'all been using this word for close to a decade now, and I'm sick of it. The word is snitching. Let me explain to y'all little dummies. So the word snitching actually means you doing something, the other person doing it with you, basically your partner in crime. One of y'all get caught and tell on the other one. That is what snitching is. What you dumbasses think it means is just telling anybody what's going on. No. If I sit there and watch you, even though I don't like being witness to nothing, but if I watch you mess with an old lady, yes, you finna go down for that. If we in the car together, police come and they ask, hey, who drugs those we found there? If you don't open your mouth, first I'm gonna whoop your ass. Then you're gonna go down for it.
Guilty by association.
So what y'all need to realize, telling what you saw or what happened isn't actually snitching. Snitching is taking somebody else down for some foolishness you was doing and they didn't get caught,
Right,
but you don't want to go by yourself. That's what the
Mm.
term means.
right,
So if you see some
right.
foolishness going on in the school, go ahead and nip it in the bud. Go and get that handled. Don't be like, oh, well, they're gonna call me a snitch. Well, that dumbass can't spell it, so why does it matter? That's all I'm gonna say. Cause y'all ain't even smart enough to know what the words mean, but y'all just like using them out your mouth incorrectly. I'm gonna let you know. Snitching means two people committing a crime and one tell on the other one, just to probably lessen his time. That's snitching.
Right,
That's
Stupid,
snitching.
ratting, all that.
right,
All of them the
right,
same. But you little dummies think, oh, well, he told the truth of what's going on. That's snitching. No, you dummy. That's just being a witness to some foolishness that went down in front of him. If you don't want people
right.
telling what you did, stop doing it in public.
I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what's the difference between literally and actually? They use literally so fluently, just like it's everything.
It
Wait,
ain't
what
no
is
damn doggone difference. They don't know the definition, so they actually using
between
the same
literally and
word twice.
actually, right? You actually did
Nah,
that.
They literally use it actually twice. If you open the thesaurus, they went next to each other. But they
right.
don't even know what a thesaurus is, so it ain't like that matter.
Okay, I was really picking. It was a rhetorical question.
That's why I don't talk to people of a certain age bracket. They make my head hurt.
I know, right? No, right?
Hey man, I
I look forward
definitely
to this part of the show every week.
every week. I promise. I promise. It's either these power shots, and the word of the week. I promise. I promise. The power shots and the word of the week. I look forward to it.
Yeah.
Family, let's be clear. This conversation tonight was never just about politics. It's all about power. Real, 100% human power. That kind that doesn't need permission, doesn't beg for a seat, and does not bow to the people burning the house while telling you they're here to save it. We're living in a time where the so called free world is led by a convicted felon, surrounded by predators, let's say petties, surrounded by petties or pedos
Edify.
and thieves, and
Mm,
they've turned governance into they turned our governments into a cartel, a
mm,
cartel,
mm,
and they're not hiding it. They're counting on you and I to be so distracted, too divided, or too tired to even give a damn. They're not just coming for your vote, they're coming for your ground, they're coming for your spirit, your
mhm,
memory. They're coming for the places your ancestors prayed, where your people were buried, where the frequency of your fight was born. And if they can sever that connection, they don't have to break you. You'll break yourself. So whether you're in it to save the house, to save camp, um, or burn it down, understand this. You better have a blueprint, just like Dustin said. You better have an exit plan. You better know how to hold the line and how to build something that's ours, like Dr. Campbell said. Because chaos without a plan is just surrender dressed up as resistance. Did y'all hear that come out of Perry's mouth?
mhm.
We're either playing the game they scripted for us, or we either write our own rules on our own ground and know the details. I know which side I'm on. Now, the question is, which side are you on? And what are you prepared to do tomorrow when the cameras are off and the fight is still here? And as y'all always know, stay prayed up, stay prayed up, stay prayed up. Thank y'all for tuning in. God bless y'all. Have a good night. Somebody call Tony.
I think you're right.
I was about to say, I don't even hear our music.
I got you, baby. I'm here. I'm up and running. I'm up and running. I'm up and running. All right. Hey, nice show. Good show. I like for you, if you would, next show, let's talk about, that's going to tail in with my show, talk about the bond, the local bond. I will have the
Local.
councilors. Yeah. So y'all can kind of
I got you.
piggyback.
All local.
Y'all can kind of piggyback off of my Sunday show next week if you can. if you like to. But that's
That's a bet.
that's neither here nor there. Okay. But anyway, thanks guys. Hey, and we're growing. We're getting close to monetizing.
Hey, that sounds like music to our ears, and I'm sure that it encourage our listeners and viewers to tune in even more. Share the show. And again, tune in on Sundays when the Knowledge is Power podcast live hosted by our platform host, Tony Renfro, man.
Super team.
Oh boy, y'all trying to make me flashback.
Super team.
All right, man. Y'all be good.
God bless y'all.
All right, man. Much love, my brother.
All right,